Hello there, my name's Ali and today's video is going to be about marketing. I feel like marketing gets glamorized, or it's one of those jobs that get just associated with young women or creative people. Whenever people told me growing up that I should do marketing or I should get into marketing, I would instantly get bored. I didn't really choose that myself, so nah. But funny enough, now that I've been in the marketing space for almost 5 years now, more and more I realize how mind-blowing and infinitely pervasive marketing really is. High school, college, post-grad, me, for some reason, thought that marketing was really pigeonholed. Like marketing, you just stay in the lane of marketing and it's very limited. But now the professional marketing me realized that it's actually an absolutely mind-blowing field, and like the Illuminati, it's everywhere. Okay, now let me ask you, do you ever sit around and just are curious about marketing and how it works? And to be honest, I don't even know how many business owners and professional marketers even sit around doing that. I really think that they should do more of that, honestly, because it's so crucial. But yeah, I'm just kind of curious. Like, do you ever have weird questions around marketing or curiosities around how marketing works as an industry or as a skill? Having observed and now being quite passionate about the space, I really do think that good marketing can change culture and change the world. And bad marketing can tank a product and reputation. And yes, I do realize that I just made two very broad general statements, but some examples of how good marketing can change culture and change the world. Companies like Apple, obviously that's the most standout and well-known example, but there's a lot of like influencers that are really good at marketing, like Gary Vaynerchuk, who kind of changed some of the culture around social media and how businesses treat social media, how businesses utilize social media. There are so many examples of good marketing being culture changers. Even if it's not across a global scale, at least in the community, good marketing really stands out and makes an impact on consumers. And if you click this video because you're potentially interested in marketing as a profession or adding more marketing to your tool belt of skills, the really cool thing is it doesn't matter who you are or what you study, you can go into marketing if you're passionate. And I think it's actually one of the easiest fields to break into if you are really talented at it and passionate about it. And PS, I studied economics in undergrad at UCLA, so I'm a perfect example of a person that just got myself into marketing purely because I was passionate and interested in it. By the way, depending on the university, an economics major can be super theoretical. Mine was almost purely theoretical. I studied econ at the time because I was interested in business, but I was also really interested in how people operate in markets, so more of the people and behavioral side of business. I was not interested in studying marketing, although marketing was everything that I basically did up until college. Internships, the different startups that I did in high school, and just in my own personal hobbies. I had a fashion blog. I was actually not that interested in marketing. I had no desire to study it or major in it. Business as a field, I know a lot of business majors out there, you know, business does tie well with marketing because business is like the practical side that you would apply marketing to. More on that later. But here's the funny, and I think it's cool. I think it's really cool that it's so open-ended, but basically anything that you're interested in or studying or working in right now, you can pair it with good marketing and you'll be super, super valuable. You will have a career. Your career will stand the test of time if you're good at marketing. So take anything that you do or are good at doing now and pair it with some stellar marketing skills and you're good. I know there's a lot of fear around job security and all of that, but if you get better at marketing, you can solve a lot of those problems, and I'm going to talk more about this later on in the video. Being someone who didn't study marketing formally, I was an economics major. The economics major, particularly at UCLA, has literally nothing to do with marketing. I'll be so for real, there was no correlation, except for maybe supply and demand, but that's like a pretty simple concept, I think. In my major, I was just studying like interest rates and taxation and like developmental economics and statistics and all of that. So it was very theoretical, no marketing or psychology whatsoever, essentially. That all came later on in my own research and my own study. I've always had kind of an entrepreneurial streak though, which means that as a kid and growing up, I was always doing some kind of organic marketing or pestering people around something of some kind. Like I was pretty half-half in college actually. So even though what I studied was super theoretical, I did do some like more business-y internships as well. But I also, for half of college, was assigned to a modeling agency, did social media, did marketing internships, for like 88 Rising was one of them, but I also did it for 3 years for my boss, Gina Sanchez of CNBC. She owns her own asset allocation firm in LA. So I was kind of always half-half between just really like boring business stuff and marketing stuff. I say boring in quotations. What was it that finally pushed me into marketing? And now I think in a way, what was the thing that asked me to take the beacon of my calling, which is my natural self, is very passionate and is a marketer. But basically post-grad, I was working for this firm called Alpha Sites in New York, and it was very much a combo of like consulting and sales. I got so sick, like physically sick of the role like 3 months in. And that was when it dawned on me that I am absolutely a creative. OMG, holy. So I was a creative trapped in a corporate cell. So then I was frantically scrambling around, almost getting hit by cars during my lunch break to find a marketing job in New York. Unfortunately, it seemed like all of the marketing jobs in New York at the time paid like negative 20 cents per hour. And then COVID happened like 2 weeks later. So I just kind of gave up on that. Right now though, I am very much in a marketing / growth career track. Growth is just another type of marketing that's more popular in tech and more startup cultures nowadays. I'll probably talk about that in a different video if you guys are interested. But I've been employed in this direct marketing track for almost 4 years now, but I actually undertook my own marketing apprenticeship period, if you will, after graduating college. I didn't technically enter the job field with any real marketing certifications or academic background of any kind, except for a brief summer studying it abroad. But I did know in my heart that I was qualified and I had so much experience and value in marketing. Basically, the way I got a job in marketing was I just took the principles of marketing that I knew to be true and just applied them to market myself to get a career in marketing. Marketing isn't rocket science, people. What was super cool, the more and more I learned about marketing, is how much it's just so correlated with people. It's really one of those fields where the principles that you learn in marketing, you can just apply marketing to so many different patterns or consumer preferences in life. And it's really an interesting time to be in marketing now more than ever because we live in such a consumer-driven modern society. So much of our existence is influenced by consumption patterns and cultural trends, which a lot of times are controlled by pockets of money and influence and brands that have large market shares. So we are living in huge microcosms and smaller pockets of marketing. Buying and selling products and services is what every successful brand, business, and entrepreneur has to do. And it's really interesting to learn about humans and how we think and act through the lens of marketing. I feel like in economics, you get like one angle of it. But for me, in my time in marketing so far, it's opened up a whole nother angle. And it's also made me see how the more you learn about business and the different ways that the important blocks of business work together, the more you can connect the dots on everything. It's actually super, super cool. I know like a lot of times we just want to roll our eyes at marketing because it just seems like unnecessary. Like it seems like the layer that you add on top of the real thing, which is the product or the service. It seems like marketing is just one of those necessary evils. But in my time working in marketing, I realized that, okay, yes, I do believe I'm still a very product central person. Like I think the product and service, absolutely, it has to be substantial and stand on its own. But I realized that marketing just has as much impact on your real experience of consuming something as the actual product itself. For example, just this morning, I drove by a Patagonia store and they had such great marketing on their display. I just saw this sign outside of Patagonia that said, "Fashion is none of our business." And it was such good marketing. Like I literally was thinking about that for like 10 minutes. Because I'm really passionate about marketing, I really appreciate good marketing. It's kind of like if you're into design, you appreciate good design and you buy things with good design. I actually am a kind of consumer where I will purchase things if it has really good marketing, because I just care about marketing like that. But I believe a lot of people subconsciously do this because marketing is the layer that speaks to people. We actually experience most of the world through marketing. Think of how many products you buy a day, and then think about how you think about those products in your daily life and how they make you think about your own identity. All of that comes from marketing. Marketing is very much identity work and building the different identities and beliefs that we have in society. But at the end of the day, things are representations of the lifestyles and ideals that we strive for. And so I think marketing is omnipresent in everything. It's literally like the Illuminati, and like it's more and more mind-blowing the more I think about it. And this year I want to get like way better at marketing and way more into it, alongside literally the other like 2 bajillion hobbies and passions that I have. But marketing is really cool, guys. It's a great space to get into. It's easy to get into. It's literally school of hard knocks. Again, it's not rocket science. If you think you have what it takes to be a good marketer, your first litmus test is, can you market yourself well enough to get hired to be a marketer? It's very simple. And if you want to be in marketing, let me tell you, being on the other side, you literally can be in marketing. It's really not like a super hard field to learn. Again, really the only prerequisite is just like a passion and an interest towards it. And if marketing is not your main thing, but you are still passionate about marketing, honestly, the more power to you. Because I do notice that like really great CEOs who build great brands, really great founders who build great brands, have like a very keen eye and usually some sort of inner passion for marketing, which absolutely makes sense, because ultimately you're serving the customer, you're serving the buyer of your product and service. So yeah, like you should be passionate about their life, their identity, their problems and needs and all of that. That's pretty much the only and also the real test. Isn't that a funny thing? Marketing is one of those funny fields because it's kind of one of those like meta things in that way. You just put things to the test right away. It's very unpretentious like that. Low barriers of entry. It's really easy to differentiate yourself if you are a good marketer, pretty much right off the bat. You don't need any qualifications. All you have to do to be good at marketing is to just be good at marketing. I think that marketing is a good level of challenging. It's a good blend of rational and also intuitive. And I also think it's rewarding, and it has a high growth track as long as being just a fun track to be in. So if you want to get into it, here's your sign that you should do it. You should try it. The last thing is, I think marketing can be so rewarding if you are really passionate about it, because while anyone can be a marketer and while everyone is participating in marketing in some form or another, you know, sometimes on this channel I talk about personal branding and how your personal brand is your real leverage in this modern world. All of that has to do with marketing principles as well. So I do think all of us are participating in marketing in some way. It is a very fun and dynamic field to be in because there are so many average marketing people, but there are only a few really stellar marketers. And so it's fun to strive to actually just become better and better at marketing. Marketing has to do with words, ideas, communication, people, psychology, emotions, economics, all of that is included in marketing. It's so fun. It's such an expansive field. You can narrow it down, you can expand it out. It's cool. You can get your foot in the door of marketing, but if you really love it, getting really, really good at it is a worthwhile life pursuit. That's what I think, in my opinion. I really look up to great marketers and great advertisers that have shaped our current society and the products that we use and love as a society and as a culture. Also, I was living in Japan alone for a bit, and I met this stranger and we had this really interesting talk about marketing. They were telling me that they actually think Japan is really good at marketing, and I was mind blown because as we were talking about it, I was like, wait, that's literally so true. Japan is literally like the nation of stellar marketing. Like their konbini products, their wagyu beef, matcha, like anime, there's just everything is so mind-blowingly well marketed in Japan. Japan is so good at marketing, and I love Japan. I love Japanese culture, so it's just another thing for me to nerd out for the entire rest of my stay after I had that conversation with a stranger. Marketing is really, really cool, and there's just so many levels of good and great and stellar that you can get within marketing, and it's really fun. It's really fun. There's a lot of very creative, talented minds in marketing, and yeah, I just think it's a really rewarding field to be in. If you guys have any questions or want to talk to me about anything that I mentioned in this video, feel free to DM me. We can definitely talk about it. I can't say I even know that much about marketing. It's my goal to get better at marketing this year. So if you're passionate about marketing, DM me and let's talk about it. My last note for young people out there or anyone who's now watching this video and maybe wanting to break into a marketing field, I will say that sometimes entry-level marketing can be notoriously underpaid, also depending on the industry, but like entry-level marketing, it can be underpaid. But let me tell you that overall, this is a very rewarding field and it's much bigger and much more expansive than you might originally think it to be. And it also has infinite applications. And if you're good at marketing, it's more likely that you'll be able to start a successful side hustle or business. So you can usually supplement some of the loss of income when you first break into marketing with some other cool marketing work that you do on the side. There's a lot of opportunities for marketers in this world. Don't be intimidated by AI, because AI is a great tool for marketing, but it truly cannot replace like great marketing. And because there's so many applications for marketing, there's just so much demand. So I do think it's a great field to get into for the long term, especially if you're really passionate about it, but just don't be taken aback by the low entry-level salaries and sometimes job roles. Just hang in there. And if you're really passionate and show yourself to be a good marketer, you'll be surprised at just how quickly you can advance in this career and how many opportunities can open up for you. Hopefully this video was informative. I just think this topic is really cool and I'm starting to talk a little bit more about career stuff on this channel. I kind of like dabble in career versus personal life and like more spiritual stuff, but just kind of felt like talking about this topic of marketing. I encourage you to join me on my journey of studying marketing more this coming year. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.